Okay guys, the human eye. My name is Mr. Mpepu and today's date 22 April 2024, Monday, and the time there 18 minutes past 1. With that being said guys, Sanbonani, Dumelani, Afsheni, hello, Nda guys, to all corners of South Africa and Africa Kabupara. Today we'll be dealing with the structure and functions of the human eye, right? What are those parts and pieces of this organ of ours that works or that brings about our sightness? When we say we are interpreting, or when we say we are seeing this picture in this screen, what is happening with our human eyes, right? What are those structures that are bringing about those visions, right? So thank you. I welcome you guys. Those who are new here, feel free to subscribe, feel free to comment, feel free to share, guys. You can comment about anything, you can share these videos, and you can also download them, right? So another thing, let me appreciate those 88 subscribers. I see you guys. And then with that being said, guys, welcome. I welcome all of you guys from all corners of South Africa, whether you are whatever, you are white, you are pink, you are green, you are Indian, you are Zulu, you are Pedi, all of us, right? So we started at the 18th of March 2024, and today 22 April 2024 marks our beginning of week 6, if we can calculate all those weeks up until we come to our week 11. So with that being said, Monday, the whole week we'll be dealing with human eye as our annual teaching plan here. They want us, or they want a grade 12 learner, or they want us as teachers to teach you the human eye with a 5 days period, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? So our weekly plan, Monday, will be dealing with the structure and function. This will be today, after learning what is happening with the structures and what structure functions what. We are going to learn about the changes that the eye can do, accommodation and pupillary mechanism to bring about the clear visual. And then we also, Wednesday, question and answer. Thursday, we are going to talk about the disorders or the diseases, right, that are affecting our human eye, and how can we how can we correct those diseases or those disorders, right? Mind you, with our central nervous system, those diseases, we did Alzheimer and we also did multiple sclerosis. We said that the cure for this is not there, right? We cannot cure this, right? So we learn about central nervous system, we learn about human nervous system, central nervous system, peripheral, autonomic. We talked about the nerve, we talked about the reflex arc, right? So with this knowledge here, we are going to bring it up to learn a human eye. You'll agree with me that we know that we have to have a receptor, and then after the receptor we have to have our sensory neuron bringing the impulse, or transmitting the impulse to our central nervous system, right? So we know today we'll be learning about the organ here, right? This our human eye. It's an organ that houses, or that have more and more receptors, same as our tongue. Number one, we have our tongue, same as our nose. You know, here we deal with smelling, here we deal with taste. And then number 3, we talk about our human ear. We're still going to talk about it. And then number we also have a skin. And then what else that I miss? We also have 5 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses, right? So today we'll be dealing with a human eye. So with that being said, guys, welcome to my class. Those who haven't subscribed, subscribe. We are waiting for you to subscribe, guys. Okay, welcome guys. Responding to the environment, let's move on. Shosholoza. Moving with our class here, moving with our section, we'll pass by our caps. As we can see that in our caps, these two topics here, they fall under the main topics of our receptors, right? We said that our receptors, these are the structures that convert the stimuli into the impulse, right? So those will be our receptors. So they said this receptor, they're detecting, or these works for, or these are for detection of a range of stimuli, right? These range stimuli, it can be light. Here we are talking about our human eye. We need light for this stimuli. The stimuli can be light here, right? And then can be sound, a human ear, touching, skin, temperature, also skin, pressure, a human ear or the skin, and then the pain here, the skin, and the chemicals here, this one will be the tongue, right? Tasting those, and smelling also. Here we can smell the chemicals and identify which chemical is this, right? So we are excuse. They're saying details of the structure of the human eye and the human ear only, right? So we have 5 of them, but we are only going to concentrate on these 2. under this topic, right? The human eye, the human EI, yes, the human eye. Today we'll be focusing on our human eye. Our human eye. The structure and function, they only want us to deal with the structure and the functions. And then in this one, we're also talking about the basics, right? Only the basics here, because this human eye are made out of many working parts, more close to 2 million parts that makes up a human eye, right? So we're only going to learn about those who are bringing the basic functioning, and then we're also going to talk about the binocular vision, and then we're also going to talk about the accommodation, the pupil reflex, right? So this one will be talk about them on Tuesday, and then this one here will be Thursday and Friday, right? And then let's move on to our examination guideline. With our examination guideline, you can see here, let's do this with our exemption guideline. They say here, human eye, we only have to concentrate on the structure and the functions of the parts of the human eye, right? Using a diagram. So this diagram here, they are not going to ask you to draw it. It will be just for you to know which part is which part, right? So from there, we're also going to talk about the binocular vision and its importance, right? What is a binocular? You know, the binocular, those things that we use to see far, right? A game range, what we use this to. This will be your eyes here, and then you hold them like this, right? They used to say those are the binoculars. So right, so we also have something like this with our eyes, our binocular vision. You learn about this and then its importance. Why is it important, right, to have these binocular visions? And then another thing, we're agreeing today, since today's Monday and today we are dealing with our planning and our lesson. This one will do them tomorrow, Monday, accommodation and pupillary mechanism, right? When you already know, or by this time you'll be knowing the structures and what are these structures functioning from, and then how are these structures doing, or how are these structures behaving, so that will end up having an accommodation, or will end up having a pupillary mechanism. These are the changes, right? These are the changes that occur in the human eye for each of the following, right? You have to learn these changes. These are the changes, right? So you have to know the structure and the function, then after they will come and learn those changes. This structure is doing this to bring about these changes. This structure is doing this to bring about these changes. You'll agree with me. Then Thursday here and Friday, we'll be learning with this nature and treatment of the following visual effects, right? When we say visual defects, right? You are saying that you are seeing, or you have something, can we say you are not seeing clearly, right? Some defects, things are not working properly in your eyes, right? We know we have a color blindness, we have what those are the disorders. You know, color blindness, that's a disorder. We cannot correct that, but these are the defects. We can correct them, right? So we're going to learn about them. How are these brought about, and then how are these affecting these structures, right? So this will be our plan for Monday. You'll agree with me, right? So thank you, guys. We are going to take the what do we call the lesson that we learned previously, our lesson about our receptors, and then receptors transferring what, right? So today we are going to learn about the structure of a human eye, which will be the receptor, right? A human eye, this is a receptor. So you can define this human eye. Will come back this side, will come allow me to move from our book there, from our what do we call our green book, Mind the Gap. Will come back. That one is a study guide, right? We'll come back and see how they are guiding us on understanding this. But today we'll be using our textbook, right? I was saying that a human eye, it's a receptor organ, right? A human eye is a receptor organ. So when you can come and define what is a human eye. That's what I was trying to say. What is a human eye, Mr. People? You can say some of you can say, hey, a human eye is the window that, comment, guys, comment. Some of you can say a human eye is the window that helps us to see the outer world, or the human eye is the window to the soul. Hey, the human eye is what, right? So what is a human eye? Someone can come and say a human eye, this is a sensory organ, or this is a receptor organ in our body that recepts the light stimuli and convert it into an impulse and transmit that impulse, and that impulse will be transmitted to our cerebrum. You know that in our cerebrum, that's where we interpret our sight, right? We talked about this last week. I'm just bringing up those information to today's lesson so that we will be able to enjoy this lesson with our foundation, right? We have our foundation there. We laid our foundation that we need a receptor, and we talked about in this receptor, they have to convert the stimuli into an impulse, right? into an impulse. So from there we are going to talk about the sensory neuron that will take, or that will transmit this impulse to the central nervous system, which will be the brain or the spinal cord. In this what we call in these sensory organs of ours, our human eye and our human ear, the only pathway it will be from the human eye to the brain, right? Because this one is a cranial nerve. We talked about this, right? A cranial nerve, the one that they move from the brain to the receptors or to the organs, right? So it's also from our human ear. Our human ear, we also have the one that is going to move straight to our cranial, our cerebrum, and then we also have our mouth there, tongue and what, and we also have what, skin and what, 12 of them, right? We have 12 of them, but those are not necessary. Here what we can take is that the reflex action or the reflex arc that we were doing with our spinal cord, here now we'll be transferring or we'll be transmitting those impulses to the brain. Here you can now just say our sensory neuron will transmit the impulse to the brain. Special part of the brain, cerebrum. You know about this part now. Okay. So, okay, what are these sense organs? What are these sense organs, right? I told you we have 5 sense organs, but that these sense organs contain a high concentration of receptor cells, right? We talked about the receptor cells, this in our previously. We do something like this to the central nervous system, coming back to the effector, right? And we say this one will be the receptors, and then in that part will be the receptor cells, right? So our sensory organs, they have more and more of these receptor cells. When we're talking about the tongue, let's use this example, although we are not going to learn about this right under these sense organs of ours. At our tongue, you know, it have bits and those receptors, and those are the receptor cells, right? So in those receptor cells, when you eat a sour thing, those receptors, they are going to convert that stimuli into the impulse, right? So these sense organs, our tongue, our nose, our ears, our what, they have more and more of these receptor cells, right, which are able to detect a stimuli to bring about a response, right? We will study the eye and the human ear only in this chapter of ours, right? But we have sense organs as a group of organs. Under these groups of organs, we have ear and a human eye. Right? What are these sensory organs? These sense organs, they are organs that have more receptor cells concentrated. We also have a skin. I can also talk about the skin. Our skin is an organ, right? Our largest organ in our human body is the skin. This skin also have the receptors for temperature. You know, you can detect the temperature from your skin, right? It means that in this skin here, we also have the receptor cell converting the heat stimuli into the impulse and then transmitting the impulse to our central nervous system. So today we'll be talking about the human eye, right? What is a human eye, Mr. Mpepu? Now use your definition to define what is a human eye. Do you want to take it a straight way, or you want to take it a scientific way? Scientific way, this is a sense organ that convert a light stimuli into an impulse. That is a human eye, right? From there, we are going to excuse. We have terminologies under this human eye, right? We have excuse for that, guys. Sorry. We have terminologies under this human eye, right? These human eyes, we are going to say this human eye, you know, we have talked about this human eye like this, round like this, right? So we have internal structure and the outer structure. This outer structure that you see here, it's a sclera. We call it a sclera. You learn about this, right? We also have something that is happening inside our human eye. So we'll be talking about the rods and the cones, right? The rod like this, and the cone, you know, a cone is like this, right? Can be upside down or something like this. Is a cone, right? This is a rod. So we are going to talk about something called the rods and something called the cones, right? What are these rods? These rods are the receptor cells. These are type of cells. So we'll have the cells like this symbolizing a rod, and we'll have the cells like this symbolizing the cones, right? So these are the type of receptor cells. Both of them, they are the receptor cells, right? But the rods, they are going to detect a black and white color, and then the cones here, they are going to detect all the colors that are in between. Here we talk about 3 of them. We have the red, if I'm not mistaken, we have the red, and we have the green, and we have the blue, right? These 3 colors here. So here's the thing, but the rods are the receptor cells found in the retina. We are also going to talk about the layer or the line. I talked about this when we were doing color blindness, telling you that in someone having a color blindness, they have a problem. They cannot produce the proteins that make up the cones, right? So they cannot differentiate between a yellow and a green color. I talked about this if you still remember. And where were these located? I was saying that it was located somewhere called a retina. This retina here is the layer at the back of our human eye. This will be our human eye circle like this, and then this will be our pointer, this thing at the front here, and then the rods and what they are located somewhere at our inside our human eye like this. We're still going to see the full structure of a human eye. For now, let's use our imagination, and this is going to help us to understand the structure of a human eye. Allow yourself to use imaginations, right? So these are the receptor cells. So this will be the small cells, same as on our tongue. Our tongue, you can see there's bump. Those are not the cells. Those can be the cell elongated. You know that one cell can be elongated, but those are microscopic cells. Maybe there'll be 2, there'll be 3, I don't know. But these are the receptor cells. These are the dots. Where? At the retina. This is the retina, right? But this one, the rods, but the retina of the eye, which are sensitive to a dim light, right? And it helps to distinguish between black and white. So when you see, it's not when you see a black and white. Let's move on and you'll understand this. But the cones here, these are the receptor cells found in the retina of the eye, which are sensitive to the bright light. They are sensitive to a bright light, and they help to distinguish between the different colors. So here's the thing, you have the light, and you know that a light is divided into many rays, right? We have the blue, red, white. Hence we see the rainbow in different colors, right? So here's the thing, with our cones are going to detect all those colors using these 3 colors. Green, we have the one that are housing the green color, and then we have the one that red color, green color, and blue color. So our human eye use combination of this color to make up a color. Like here I'm using a purple, right? You can see in your screen you have the purple colors. What is happening is that our human eye is only seeing a red and a green and a blue pigment, or the red and the blue light. So what is happening is that our brain now is picking up all these colors and make a combination that our brain now is telling us, or this color here, it's purple, right? I hope you understand that. So we have these 2 receptors in our human eye. Both of them, they are called photoreceptors, right? Photoreceptors. Both of them, they are called photoreceptors. We have the rods and we have the cones, something like this. These cones, they are made out of red. We have the one that are red, we have the one that are green, and we have the one that are black. Where? Here. Brown, right? Blue. Sorry. Blue, red, green, blue. Where? Here. There are those who are taking a blue color, there are those who are taking green color, there are those who are taking red color. And then the rods here, they help us in a dim light. During night, right? During night you see black. During night, to those color of black and white, or those black shades, that's what we see, right? Another thing, I have a theory, or where I saw somewhere saying that if this is your human eye viewing that direction, I agree, you know that this will be your last vision, right? We're also going to learn about this part here. This part here is called the field of vision, right? This is what you can see with your human eye. You can see up until here. They're saying that these rods here, you'll learn about this. These rods, because they distinguish black and white, and let's move on. You learn about this, right? Let's move on. Sorry to waste your time here, but you understanding this, that these 2, they are the type of the cell receptors in our retina. Placed there in our retina. They are there in our retina. The rods, they are going to distinguish us the black color and the white color. The black and white, it's here. When you see the black color here, it means that our cones and our rods, they are not seeing anything, right? They are not picking up any color. So for example, something this side, right? You can see we have a gray color here. It means that our cones and our cones, they are not picking any color. There's no color there. There's no white, there's no white, there's no green, there's no red, there's no blue, right? So what is happening is that our cones, our rods here, they are going to interpret this color here as shade of black, dark black, white here, something like this, right? So you'll see with combination of these 3 things, we can come up with a picture. We can interpret a different picture, having a dusty pink, purple color here, something like that, right? So from there, these 2 back at the eye, right? From there we have the pupil. this structure I call a pupil. What is a pupil? A pupil bar is a central opening within the iris which allows the light to enter. We are going to talk about this. This is just an opening, right, within something. These two called the iris. You're also going to learn about these two. These things this is not a one thing, right? You learn about this, not a two things. Hence they show them as a two things. It's a one thing called an iris, right? So we have our black eye. This black here, this will be our pupil, this black thing that you see, and this brown color here, the brown muscles, this will be our iris, right? So this iris here, it can open. You know that with your human eye, these things here, this black hole here, it can shrink, it can become small, or it can become big, right? You'll understand with me. So the black and the opening here that we see, it's called a pupil. There's nothing there, it's just an opening, just a space, or it's just a cycle that is made out of this brown muscles here called iris. So you'll see they're going to cut our human eye in half so that you'll understand this in a understandable manner. But the pupil is just an opening, right? So we move on with our terminology. We'll say the pupil, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about the pupillary mechanism, when that opening of ours that we're talking about now becoming big and becoming small, right? And then we're also going to talk about the accommodation. Somewhere inside our eye, behind this pupil, when we go straight, when we see this straight, we are going to see something called a lens, right? We are going to learn about this today. We're going to see something called a lens. So this lens inside there, it can grow, it can understand, it can change shapes, right? It can change shapes, it can change its movement, right? We are going to learn about this tomorrow. And then from there, they said we have to learn about the field of vision. What is the field of vision? This is the area that one eye can see. You remember I was doing this, right? This is an area, a field of vision or field of view, right? This is an area that one eye can see. Where now closing your eyes and check, I can see up until here, I can see up until here. This one here is the field of vision or field of view, right? So with two eyes, you can now see that with two eyes, you increase that field of view, right? With two eyes, you increase that field of view. No. So now here we'll be talking about the binocular visions, right? And then from there, we have these two shapes. We have the convex shape and a concave shape. What are these? The convex shape, they will be talking about this. Hey, our lengths make a convex, what. So you have to know this. What is a convex? What is a concave? But a convex, these are the shapes with curves outwards, thicker in the middle than the edge, right? But the concave, this is the shape that curves inwards, thinner in the middle than the edge, right? The concave, you know this, a cave is something like this. This will be our, if like we are going to talk something like this, will be our concave, right? Caving inside. Our convex, this will be our convex, something like this, caving outside, right? Being thicker in the middle, and this one being thinner where? In the middle. So you'll agree with me here, right? So this is what is happening. The convex is like this, can be one convex, or it can be diconvex, or it can be one concave, or it can be diconcave, like this, right? So you know these structures. Understand this: convex, vex, it's like this. Cave, let's use the cave thing. It's caving inside, right? It curves inwards. Here's the thing, it curves inwards, right? And then here it curves outwards. So here it will be like this, and here it will be like this. You'll agree with me. Now we can go and learn the human eye. You're agreeing with me now. You are ready, Mr. People. Let's see the structure of a human eye. Okay. Before the structure of a human eye, let's move on with our textbook. But the receptors that detect light are called the rods and cones, right? Those are the light receptors. We call them the light or the photo receptors, or the light receptors, right? And these receptors, they are called the rods and the cones. You understand this now by now, right? But these are situated in the retina at the back of the human eye. So at the back of a human eye, when you look at the human eye, or when you look at your friend's human eye, you see the front part. When you enter via the pupil now, straight going back to the human eye, you are going to find a layer called a retina, where these rods and cones are situated. Are we together? Yes. But the eyes are found as a pair. These eyes of ours, two of them, right? The eyes are found as a pair positioned at the front of the skull, right? This will be our eye and this will be our eye, right? This will be your skull here. How can I draw a skull? This would be a skull facing that direction, facing there, away from us, right? And then, but these human eyes are found as a pair position at the front of a human of the skull, right? Here at the front, we know they are found at the front. But the field of vision, I was talking about this. The field of vision from each eye overlaps, which allows a slightly different image on a same object from each eye. Here's the thing. You have this eye here, right? This eye is going to have the field of vision like this, and then this eye here is also going to have the field of vision like this, right? So when this overlaps here, making something that is inside, it means that now you have two pictures combining them, right? I told you, you close your left eye, you see close your left eye. Let's do experiment here. You close your left eye, you're going to see up until here, right? You open your left eye, you close your right eye, you are going to see up until here. But if you open both of them, you are going to see here and here, right? So this, and then here in between here, something that you'll be seeing, this will be your focus area. This will be your focus area. This will be your viewing point. So you will see things from that angle going inside up until there's something that you are focusing on. In this scenario, you will be focusing in this screen, but you will also seeing going outside, something that is outside of this screen, right? If you are using your cell phone, you can see something that are behind your phone. You can see something that are at your sides, right? Those things that are at your sides, they are formed by two eyes. It's one vision of field, one overlapping. Here they are saying it overlapping. This picture here that you are seeing in this eye and this picture here, they are being combined here, right? But the two types of images occur as a result. The two types of imaging occur as a result of a binocular vision. Here's the thing that they were talking about. What is this binocular vision? Here, the binocular vision, you can go to then and see this thing, right? We have our human head, like let's do like this. We have our human head having two eyes there. This will be someone here facing that direction, right? This person is facing that direction there. So that person here with binocular vision, let's study the binocular vision. But the binocular vision was vision using two eyes with overlapping fields of view, right? So that the separate images are combined and interpreted as one image by the brain, right? So when what you are doing with binocular vision, you are using your two eyes. In binocular vision, this is the vision that I'm using two eyes, right, to combine two pictures, as one. This is what is happening with binocular vision. You have your eye there and you have your eye there. This eye here is seeing a picture going this direction and going this direction, right? And this eye again is also seeing a picture going this direction and going this direction. So binocular vision, it's you using your two eyes like this to have a wilder view, to understand, to make one image, to form one image using two pictures, putting them together, or using two images. Those are not pictures, right? Using two images. Yeah, here's the thing they're saying it. Those are images. Using two images that are overlapping to make one image. I hope you understand this. They're just, if they are going to ask you this question, they are going to ask you this question with this application, or this is the process, or this is the vision where you are using two eyes. To understand, when you are using two eyes overlapping fields of view, you know the fields of view when they are overlapping fields of view. This is what I was drawn from here up until here. This will be one eye field of view, and from here up until here, this will be our another eye field of view. So you are combining these two field of view to form one picture, right? And then also this results into a stereoscopic view. This is under binocular vision, right? This is a stereoscopic view, the vision where the ability to form a three-dimensional images which provide the ability to, this is the ability to judge distance, to judge depth, to judge the size of the object. So what is happening here? The binocular vision, this is you, right? The binocular vision, this is you using your two eyes, overlapping or joining two point of view, so that you'll have one image so that you'll have two separate image combined to form one image, right? Binocular vision. So with that binocular vision, is going to this is another thing. Under binocular vision, you are using two eyes, right, to produce a stereoscopic vision. What is a stereoscopic vision, Mr. Mpepu? This is the ability of you now using your binocular vision, using those two eyes of yours, right, to take two field of views, put them together, and have something that you can now say this is a 3D dimension. I'll give an example again. Let's say you are seeing something like this, right? This is a color, this is a different color here, and this one is a different color here, right? So here it's your eye here. This point of view, maybe like, let's say this point of view is taking up until here and then going that side, right? So it means this point here, it will be most interpreted on your right eye, right? So with your left eye, the point of view, yes, you're still going to see this part, and you're also going to see this part. It means that this part here, it's also going to be interpreted more by your left eye, right? So this scopic, another thing, let's take this from here. Scopic from microscopic. You know, with microscope, sorry, I will come back here. With microscope, you can use those two things, right, that you place your eyes, right? You place your eyes in the microscopic, and then you end up with one image down here, right? You have seen microscope, you did microscope in grade 10. This is a microscope, you end up with one image but using two viewing side here, right? So this is a scopic view. So now when you say the stereoscopic vision, now this is stereoscopic vision. This is the vision that now you are using your two field of view to make up a 3D of this. When you look at this at one, you are going to see something like this one thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let's talk about this. You press your eyes, right, at the side, one side and one side, at the end of this left side and side. You press them like this. When you press them, just press them to a point where you see two images. You see two images moving. Like when you press your eyes. After pressing your eyes, you tilt your head, like you move your head, like rotating it upside down. Then you are going to see two images, right? Those two images, they have to make one images. You making one images, we are saying that you are producing a stereoscopic vision. When you are using two eyes to make that photo, when you are using two eyes to interpret this photo, we are saying you are doing a binocular vision. Stereoscopic vision is using now you are using these two images to make a 3D dimensional image for you to see now. Okay, if it's a fridge like this, I can now see the top side, I can now see the left side, and I can now see the bottom. I can now see this fridge having the side there. I can see this fridge having I'm using the fridge because I'm sitting in front of the fridge. But yes, you understand, this is what you have to understand under this topic, right? Under this topic. And then they said you have to learn the significance of the binocular vision. Why? What is it that this binocular vision is going to benefit us? We use this binocular vision so that we'll be able to judge the distance, right? This binocular vision of ours, it makes us to judge the distance. If we are saying that I have something that is in front here and I have something that is back here, this is me, I'm watching all this, right? So with one eye, yes, I can tell that this one is front of this. But now with binocular vision, my you understand, my interpretation of this thing being in front of this, it becomes precise. That's what they say it gives precise depth of perspective, whatever the word that they will use, but it gives a precise, it gives a direct it gives us a direct depth of field. For you to see someone, when I look at someone and see that this someone is from here up until here, this person is short, for example, this person is short, it's because now I'm using a binocular vision. Not to say if I'm using a monocular, something called monocular vision. Monocular vision is when you close your one eye and see with one eye. That is a monocular vision. Right? You can, if you have a sharp eye, you can see that this process. If you're holding something here, your pen in front of the screen, and you hold your pen here, you can concentrate in this pen, or you can concentrate on that screen, right? That is a monocular vision. That's what your eye can do. It can sense, it can it can focus. This one's the depth of depth, right? A depth here, we're talking about the focusing. When you place your pen in front of the screen and you are seeing that pen, and then if you remove the focus from the pen to the screen, you see the screen, right? This pen here in front of you, can see that this pen here is in front of the screen. I'm not sure if you can do that, but that's another technique, or that's how you have to use your human eye with monocular vision. But with binocular, bi means two, right? With binocular, it means that now you are using your two eyes to now measure the distance, to now measure the depth, to now measure the size of an object. So this process is going to be precise. It's going to be at a point. To understand, I'm not sure if you know the word, what is precise mean, but the precise means it will be at the point, right? You will be your measurements will be closer compared to when you are using one eye, right? So stereoscopic, you are using two images to make one image. This is a scopic, with a microscope, right? To make one image here, creating it as a 3D dimension. So you can see something, and then you can see the dimension, 3 dimension, upper side and the other side, right? So I hope you understand that. I hope you understand that. So let's move on, right? You'll agree with me. Let's move on. What is a binocular vision? We talked about monocular vision. They also have an example of monocular vision and binocular vision. Here's what I want you to understand. I want you to understand that these two, this one is not another example. This one's not. These are the one thing, right? We have a binocular vision. This just means that two eye vision, using your two eyes here. Bi means two. Binocular vision, you are using your two eyes to see. And then what is happening when you are using your two eyes to see? You have two fields of view, and these two fields of view, they are fields of view or field of vision, right? These two fields of view, they are going to be overlapped, or they are going to be stacked one on top of another, so that you'll have one image. So your ability, or you being able to do that, we are saying that you are using your binocular vision. You being able to open your two eyes and make one image. You are using your two eyes, right? So with stereoscopic vision, now it's taking these two eyes and make it one image. So with binocular vision, we can one eye. Okay, I'll say here's the binocular vision. You can have another eye here and another one here. This person here seeing something different, right? Another eye is concentrating on something different on your right, and then another eye is concentrating on something on your left. Yes, you are using your binocular vision. Because you can now work. Those people who have two eyes, some eyes facing that side and another eyes facing that side, right? Those people, they see things as ours. They can write, they can concentrate on one thing. But this thing is that when they use those two eyes, they have to have an ability to come and take one image here and let that eye go side, bring another eye, take the image and make one image as one, right? The binocular, they are using those two images. So it means that if your eyes are moving further away like this, right? Your eyes moving further away, we are going to increase your fields of view. You are now going to look at things now at a further back. You are going now to look at something that are further back here, right? But when we overlap them here, when you come and join these pictures, you make one picture. So with stereoscopic vision, you are looking at one picture, and you are being able to use those two pictures that you are seeing under binocular vision to make up a 3D image. I hope you understand, right? And then this is an ability, right? And then this one is an ability. There's an ability to do something, and there's an inability to do something. So we have people that they cannot have this stereoscopic vision, right? Maybe they want to close one eye, or they have to what, so that they will now judge the distance, and this help us into this. So guys, we are fine, right? We can move on, right? Thank you guys for being here. And then the structure of a human eye. Now with that, now we can just go to the structure of a human eye, which one is making what, which one is doing what, which one is doing that, right? We have the eyelid here. These are the only parts that we are going to focus on, right? A human eye is made out of many structures. We have the lammatic glands here. We have the duct here. You know that in your human eye, or a lower lid, you have a hole here, even on your op. So we are not going to talk about this, right? But they are there. So those who are going to learn further with our human eye, they will learn those structures, right? So from there, we have our eyelid. This eyelid, it will be protecting, same as whatever when you are using your eyelid to do. This this meat here or this thing here on the top, right? What are you using that for? You are using that to wipe your human eye. That one will be a function for that, right? And then we also have our ear lashes, right? These lashes here, these ear lashes, they are now repairing the foreign particle so that this dust and what they won't enter our human eye, right? So this one, they are just flipping there, removing those dust as much dust that they can, right? While you are doing your eyelid there, and then your eyelashes, they are preventing those foreign particles, they call them foreign particles or dust, to enter our human eye, right? So now we go inside our human eye. We have this black part here, it's color blue. We have this black part here that I was talking about, and then it's called a pupil, right? A pupil, this is an opening, right? From there we have our iris. Our iris, you can see this whole circle here, it's our iris, right? And then this iris here, this is where you can say someone is having brown eyes, someone is having purple eyes, whatever. Here the person here, she's having or he's having blue eyes, right? So we name it after iris. Then we have the function of this iris. This iris veil is to close and open the pupil. So when we say the pupil it's open, it means that our iris, they went back, right? When this iris, they went forward, I want you to imagine like that. When this iris now, they come forward, they closing this pupil, right? Yeah, this is what we see outer. And then we also have our white part there, this our white area that we call it a sclera. We call it a sclera. This is an outermost layer of our eye, right? Something like this. You can go to our picture, we can see, you can label those. We have the sclera, which is our round, and then this will be a ball, right? This will be a ball, and then at the back there, at the ball, everything will be like inside the ball, right? Then there's the ball, and then in front here we have the pupil. This is the opening, and then we have the iris, which is this circular muscles like this, right? So this black hole here, it's controlled by our iris. This is what we have in our human eye, right? So we can go now, and here's the thing, but the eyeball, the eyeballs lie inside a bony cavity, right? Our skull, it has a bone cavity where our eye lies, right? The bone cavity is where our human eyeballs lie, right? And then from there, connecting tissue, we talked about this, said we are not going to talk about them, but they said the connective tissue and the fat surround the eyeball to protect it from mechanical injury. So when now, if they can ask you about the tissue that hold our human eye to a place, you just say the connective tissue and the fats, right? That's the only information that you have to know. Connective tissue and fats surround our eyeball to protect it for its function, right? So that it can go left, right. Those, what are type of those muscles, we don't have to know. And then but the front of the eye is protected by eyelids. There, you know about it. And then which have eyelashes. These are the eyelids. The lids, right? A lid pot, it has a lid. I'm not sure if I can put it like that. Then these lids here, we have the eyelids and eyelashes. Eyelashes, the eyelids, something that is closing the eye, and then the eyelashes, these are in front here. All of them, they are protecting our human eye, right, to stop the foreign particles from entering the human eye. Here we also have another quick as reflex arc. You see, when you see something coming to your eye, what is going to happen is that you are going to close your eyes as fast as possible, right? That's how you are protecting your human eye. And then what that something enters your human eye, you're going to release tears, and then those tears also, they are protecting our human eye, right? So we have many things that are protecting our human eye. It's not only the eyelid. And then the colored part of an eye, it is known as an iris. We've been talking about this word now for a long time. We know what is an iris, and then this iris is a colored part of an eye that is called an iris, right? And then the opening in the center of the iris is the pupil. You know about this by this time. And then the sclera is the white outer covering layer. So our eye, we know these three parts. Our eye is covered by our sclera, and then into our sclera we have the iris, and then into the iris we have the opening called the pupil, right? But the internal eye, the structure that is internal, actually you see the outside here. This is the what this thing that you see on your outside. It's an outside. The internal is what is inside your bony, what. The internal eye can be divided into 3 layers. We have the sclera inside there, and we have the choroid inside here, and then we also have the retina. These are the layers that are surrounding our human eye. We're going to learn about this now. But these layers are the other parts of the internal eye. These are the layers down, and then the other parts of the internal eye show in figure 10. So now let's come to our structure of a human eye, right? So this is the structure of a human eye. Then how can you can see now we have many parts, right? You can see we have many parts, but we can come with strategy to understand these parts, right? So here's the strategy. We'll start with the layers. We'll start here. You'll start with the layers, right? We have the outer layer, we have the middle layer, and we have the inner layer. Back at the back of your eye, right? Where from the inner layer we have the retina. Then this is here, we said this one, it has the cones and the rods, right? This one, it has the cones and the rods for photoreceptor. So it means that our image is going to be recepted here, right? Or our stimuli, the impulses, they are going to be they do what they transmit, they convert. Yes, our stimuli is going to be converted here at this layer, which is called retina, which is the layer at the front when we coming inside, or the last layer when we are counting from outside coming in, right? From there, another layer in the middle, we have the choroid. This is a choroid. I'm not sure why they are not calling it choroid, because this one is chocolate, but they name it choroid, right? What is happening with our choroid? Our choroid here, hence when you see our pupil, when you see our pupil, we see the black color, right? This black color here. This is the dark layer. This is the choroid here. This is the dark, right? We say this is the dark layer that contain blood vessels, right? Blood vessels, right? So here in our choroid, we'll have our blood vessels, and we'll also have our dark pigment, right? We're also going to have our notes about this textbook also have the notes. So this, our choroid here, is containing our blood, right? Our blood vessels. So it will be transporting, the function of blood is to transport oxygen and nutrients, right? So that will be the layer inside, transporting another one to the sclera and another one to the retina, right? To the whole part of the body. As you can see, it also comes and form this part here, right? Then we have our outer layer. This will be our sclera. Our sclera, but the white outer covering layer, right? This is our layer here. They are saying it's an inelastic, does not bounce, right? It's this rigid, something like we say something that is doesn't stretch, right? Forms a ball. So this, for us to have this ball, we have this sclera. So we have in these layers, we have this hollow here, this point here, and this point here is filled by something called the vitreous humor, right? This vitreous humor, it is a jelly-like, they say this is a jelly-like, right? A jelly-like substance. You have a jelly-like substance, and we also have a liquid-like substance. You know the difference. A jelly-like, it's like a gelatin, tomoshika, right? And then the liquid, it's a liquid. So here, this point here, this balloon of ours, or this ball of ours, it is filled by a vitreous humor, or a jelly-like substance, right? So there is something we also have in our retina here, in this layer, internal layer of ours. You can say this one is an outer layer, this one is a middle layer, and this one is an inner layer. Retina, inner layer, middle layer, outer layer. Then in our retina here, we found that we have a spot called a yellow spot. Again, this will be our, let's say this will be our back side of our, let's do like this. Then this will be this will be I'm not sure if I can portray like this. This will be going inside, right? So here inside, somewhere here, this will be our last part, taking our taking our optic nerve, right? This is our optic nerve. You can see that it's an optic nerve here. This will be our optic nerve. So in this, after this optic nerve, in this point here, the point where the optic nerve enters, and the point where you can see that our retina here, retina comes as a yellow color, all of it coming inside. It's a ball, right? So all of this will be covering our human eye, bringing everything to the center there. And then that center there, we call it a blind spot. Why? Because here in this blind spot, they will say we don't have the cones, we don't have the rods, and then this place here is the place, you can see this is the place where our optic nerve joins our human eye. This is a point where our blood vessels join our human eye, right? So in this point here, we don't have our cones and our rod. Hence, it is called a blind spot. Right? You'll agree with me. Here it's a blind spot. We don't have these cones and rods. So hence, there is no pictures here. No pictures or no images, right? No images. So here's the image will come in, and when it comes this side, I'll show you how the image comes. When it reaches this side, it's going to be interpreted, or when it reaches this side, the receptors are going to convert that stimuli into the impulse, and that impulse is going to be sent to the optic nerve down outside the ear to the cerebrum, right? So we have the yellow spot there. What is a yellow spot there, Mr. Mpepu? This yellow spot, this is the spot that is found somewhere before the blind spot, right? This will be the spot like this. They say this is a yellow spot. In some books, they will say this is called a macula, right? Macula. And this, in this macula, this will be the macula, and then inside this will be a sort of like a mbobo, right? A spot. You can know what is a spot. A spot is something like this, right? So this spot here, it's a yellow spot, and then we have the blind spot. We also have the blind spot beneath our yellow spot, right? So in this yellow spot here, they call them macula in other book. Then we have the fovea. Is it a fovea or something inside? So you see that it's not here. You can see that whatever I'm trying to come up with, it's not here. So we are not going to be asked about those fovea and fovea or macula. When they ask us about this yellow spot here, or when they ask about a question related to this yellow spot here, we are going to give them a yellow spot. So what is a yellow spot, Mr. Pep? This spot here, but this is the spot where we have more of cones. This is where when you say that you have a focusing image, right? You have an image, and this image here, let's say this image is going to be scattered here, right? It's going to be pasted at your image, whatever is going to see is going to be pasted at the retina there. And then whatever is being concentrated here on our yellow spot, that will be our clearest vision. When you say you are focusing on something and all your vision, there's no blur, you can look at the tip of your pen, right? Look at the tip of your pen. The moment you see that tip of your pen, you can see that everything surrounding that tip of your pen is blurry, right? Where now you only focus is there at the tip of your pen. That means that the whole picture, you can see everything. You can see even your surrounding, right? It means that all your picture is being pasted at the back of your eye, but the point that you are seeing the pen there, it's at this yellow spot, right? You'll see when we go on and see the function of this yellow spot. This is a yellow spot. They have more cones, so they are going to give us the clearest image, right? So let's come to the front part of the human eye, right? Let's come to the front. This will be the back part, right? This will be the back part. This will be the layers. So we come to the front part, right? So now let's come to the front part here. So, okay, with our front part, you can see that our choroid here, this one having our our vessels, right? Vessels, it comes and makes something here, right? And then here, do we start here or let's start here? Let's start here. In our arteria, or the front of our eye, the thing that we see now, the front of our eyes, this part here, this black or this color thing here, we can see that we have something that is protruding. You can look at your eye, or you can touch your eye, you can close your eyes and play with your eye, and you can feel that there's something that is moving, right? That moving part is a cornea, right? You have our eye comes upside here and do something like this, and then also do the circle like this, right? So this part here that is pushing outside, this is a cornea, right? It's a clear layer, a cornea. You can see from here up until here, right? This is a cornea. It's a clear layer that allows the light to pass in. So what is happening here, we want this light to come and hit this retina here, right? So that we can have our receptors being stimulated, right? So our cornea, they are allowing this light to pass inside here, to pass our eye, right, while also protecting our lens and our iris, right? But the function of this cornea is to allow is the transparency, right? So if you can see, this is a sclera. Another thing, you can see this is sclera. The sclera is white, but when it comes here, so that the light will pass, it has to be clear. This is a continuation of our sclera, our outermost layer. We also have another line here. Some books, they can come and give you another line, but it's not here, right? And then this line is here, it's called conjunctiva, something like conjunctiva. They will also talk about that line, but that line there in this book is not there. I saw it on our green book. It's there, that line, but they're not going to ask you about it, right? But you can be confused while now you are seeing two lines here, right? The cornea, you can say the cornea is a continuation of sclera that is clear now, right? This part here is clear, the clear part that will allow the light to pass in so that it will come to the retina. From there, this cornea here, you can see that this cornea here is bulging out, right? We say it's bulging, it's moving out of your eye, it's forcing now it's causing a concave, it's making a concave structure. Here in between here, we have the liquid. This white here, this is a liquid, and this liquid here is called aqueous humor, right? This liquid here is going to make this cornea to maintain its structure, so that this cornea here, it will always be bulging like this. We filled this place here by a liquid called aqueous humor. This now it's a liquid, right? And then this now here, it's a jelly-like. There's a difference between the two. Here it's a liquid. We poke you are going to remove the liquid like a tears, right? But when we poke deeper, you are going to remove a jelly-like something, right? So this liquid here, we found it in between here. All this white part here, particle here, this is filled by this aqueous humor, right? So from there, we are moving on. From aqueous humor, you will see that this is, okay, let's go to our picture. This is a clear thing here in our, you can see there's a glass-like thing here in the front of this eye. This glass-like thing here, this is a cornea. That is what we call it, a cornea. So from cornea, we are going to come to this black part of ours and this muscular brown thing of ours, which is called an iris. We talked about this, right? This is an iris. This is that circular muscles that we see there, cut in half like this. Hence, you see them like these two, right? But it's a one muscle making a circle, right? And then the opening there, we say that this one is a pupil, right? Pupil, the shape and the opening of pupil is being controlled by something called an iris. What is an iris? These brown muscles here controlling this opening here, called what? Called a pupil, right? You can see that this iris here, it's made out of a radial, we call them a radial muscles that are going straight, right, from the black to the gray part here. We can see that we have straight muscles coming in, right? Those are the radial muscles. And we also have the muscles that are doing a cycle, maintaining this cycle inside here. Those are called a circular muscles, right? So we'll talk about them when we do a accommodation and pupillary mechanism tomorrow. So prepare for that. Or this muscle here, this iris of ours, it's made out of, you can see the lines coming inside from the most gray part going to the black side, right? Those are the radial muscles. And we also have the circular muscles that are doing a cycle. We'll learn about that tomorrow, right? So we were at the iris. From the iris, the light is passing in, right? Now we are transporting the light. The light, after passing this iris, it's going to be refracted. It's cool. We have a reflection, and refraction. The refraction is the bending of light. A reflection is the reflecting of light. The light bounce and come back. This is a reflecting. And then when the light comes and pass, we say the light is being refracted. So this object here, we call it a lens, a glass-like. This is what we know, a camera, right? We can talk about the camera. The camera has that lens there, but hey, don't scratch the lens, right? That part at the back there. they will tell you don't scratch the lens, your pictures they will be blurry, right? So but here this is the lens, and what is the function of this lens? Function of this lens is to bend the light. Again, the light is coming in, when it enters this glass like thing, it's going to be bent in now to be scattered to our retina there, right? So this is the light. So this is length. This length, they are functioning to bend the light so that it will be focused at the different part of our retina, right? And then this length here, it is held in place. As you can see, this length of ours, it is held in place. This will be something like a ball. This will be something like a ball like this inside your eye, and this ball here will also be suspended or held into place by muscles here. They're called suspensory ligament. They are suspending, they are holding that part back inside this side here, right? Going straight, let's see like this. Going straight, we are going to see that part, this black side here. After this black side, we are going to see another length, right? Mind you, they cut this they cut this eye into a longitudinal section, like straight back, going back, right? So here you're going to see the half going that side, and we're also going to have another half making a ball, right? We're going to make a sack, something like this, having an interior and the outerior part, right? Something that is inside and then something that is outside in this part, right? I'm trying to explain this, but I hope you understand. This is not a line here. It's not like a mirror. This thing is not like a mirror. It's a blob like this, having a liquid inside, right? And this thing can move. This thing can illustrate, right? Moving like irises here. Same thing, something like that. We can say, you can see this pupil here, it's controlled by irises, right? And then inside there, we also have a length that is controlled by our suspensory ligament. So this ligament here, when they stretch, they are going to pull that sac there. That length here, transparent elastic thing. This is transparent. It's not rigid. It's when we say it's elastic, we have a transparent. It means that it passes things, right? It does not reflect. The things are passing. Transparent. And when we say it is elastic, it can move. It can change shapes. What is it that is pulling it? Is this suspensory ligament, right? This suspensory ligament, they are joined to a ciliary body. This one here, it's a ciliary body, ciliary muscles having ciliary body. This one will get, this is ciliary muscles having a ciliary body, right? So it's something inside a human eye. So I like you to use this imagination as like this. Here we'll have our length, right? This will be our length, having something like this, hold in place by our suspensory ligament. This suspensory ligament, they are going to be held in place by something called ciliary body or ciliary muscles. In these ciliary muscles, we have ciliary body, right? In other books, they will draw a circle like this. Even our green book, we are also going to do our green book. In our green book, they're going to do a circle like this, and then in this circle like this, they are going to say this one, it's a ciliary body, and then here it will be our ciliary muscles. Then when these ciliary muscles, you'll understand, when these ciliary muscles becomes bigger, it means they're going to push these ligaments, and these ligaments, they're going to push down this length of ours, right? But when they become smaller, they are going to stretch these ligaments here, and these ligaments, they are going to stretch out our lengths, and this length of ours is going to be stretched like this, right? So what is happening is that the light is passing in. When the light is passing in, there's the light, here's the light, here's the light. And what is happening is that these lengths of ours, they are concentrating light, or they are bending light. They are bending it to move to a different side. But there is also another line that is going to be bent straight like this, straight to our yellow point, to our yellow spot, right? This line here, this rays here being bended or being directed to our yellow spot here. Hence, they are going to create a clearest picture, right? We are going to talk about this tomorrow when we talk about what if this what if your picture now is not here, or what if now these rays, they are bending here, or whatever, right? So we want these rays to come and concentrate there. Take that picture. Here's the thing. Another thing is that, another information is that if maybe you are seeing a tree, this is what is going to happen. This will be the tree, and then when this tree enters your human eye, this is the thing. Another funny thing about this human eye, as I'm leaving you today, this a tree, when it enters here, is going to be upside down, right? It's going to be upside down. when it's upside down, it's going to hit this part here. So it means that our light here is going to be changed, and then when it hits here, our tree is going to be upside down. And then these receptors here, they are going to recept this stimuli and send it into the impulse. And then that impulse will leave to the cerebrum. When we arrive to the cerebrum, that's where we are going to interpret this tree as upside down, it's upright like this. Right? So when you see something standing like this as a 1, coming to you, to your eyes, it means that when it enter your eyes, it's going to be upside down like this. It's going to be upside down like this, and then this light here is going to recept, it's going to form, or these receptors here, they are going to convert this stimuli into the impulse. Then that impulse is going to go to your brain, and then your brain now is going to tell you, you go to interpret it, right? You don't interpret here in a human eye. You see with our human eye, but we are not interpreting with our human eye. Our human eye is just an organ that helps us to make up the image, that helps us to bring up the image. There is no image that is interpreted in a human eye. A human eye doesn't even know the image. It's just something that we are using to see a human image, like nose. The smell is not interpreted on your human nose. It goes straight to your central nervous system, and it's being interpreted, and now you tell your body or whatever you are smelling, it's what and what and what. I hope you understand this, right? So from there, this will be our structure. Everything that you need to know is there. Then we can go on to our textbook. As you can see, our textbook, they give us our notes. This will be our notes, Mr. Pepo, as I'm done this lesson, right? So as keys. So we are done for today's lesson, where the structure, adaptation, and function of the parts of the human show above are laid out in figure 3, right? So this will be this. We talked the sclera, the outer part. From here, you know where is this located. From here, let this help you to know where is this located. We have the sclera, the outer part, right? But this is the sclera. This is the tough, white, inelastic, does not bounce. Inelastic layer that covers the eye towards the posterior. Adaptation, they will ask you about adaptation. Adaptation is that it is inelastic. For it to be inelastic, it brings the protection of the eye. Yes, because of it is inelastic, right? Inelastic. Due to it being inelastic, it brings the protection, or it maintains the structure of a human eye, right? When you say human eye, it's round, it's ball, it's because of this sclera. Because if this sclera was elastic, or this sclera will be allowed to budge, when that ventral humor inside there increases, it means that our eyes were going to also increase, right? So the function, it protects the inner structures of the eye, yes, and then it maintains the shape of the eye, what I was talking about, right? Maintains the shape of an eye, and it also protects the inner eye. We are talking about the sclera. So we move on. They said we have the cornea. Where is the cornea? If you still remember, we have our sclera, and then we have our cornea, the first transparent line there, the continuation of our sclera like this, right? Then from our there, we are going to have the iris there, and then something like that. Our sclera, our cornea is a continuation of our sclera, but this one is a transparent continuation of the sclera in the front of the eye, which is convex. We talked about this, convex like this, right? And then adaptation, what is it that it has adapted so that it will be it can function better under its function? It is transparent. Being transparent is adaptation, right? So that it will allow the light to pass through, right? But the convex shape causes the refraction. This is what I was talking about, the refraction, which is the bending of the incoming light. Don't make mistake here and say reflection, right? It does not reflect, it refract. It bend the light, right? And then function here, its function is to allow light to pass through, and then it causes the refraction, or it also causes the bending of the incoming light to create an image at the retina, right? Then also our lens is also going to refract, or it's also going to bend this, so that we'll have a concentration, right? So yes, the human eye, our cornea is also going to concentrate our light to our lens there, so that our lens can now do the final light bending, right? A bender. And then from there we have a choroid. Which part is choroid? 1, 2, 3. Without looking here, the choroid is the second layer, right? This one we have the sclera, which is the first layer, and we also have the second layer, which also continues to make our iris, and also continues to make our suspensory ligament and our ciliary body. You still remember, right? So the choroid, but the choroid, this is the dark. I told you the choroid always also have blood vessels, right? But this one is a dark colored layer which contains blood vessels and pigments, right? These dark pigments that they said it's a dark colored layer because of these dark pigments, right? Hence, when you look at someone's eyes, you see black, because something there is no light. The light inside is being absorbed by this pigment, right? The light inside. Another thing, when you take a picture and you make a flashlight, your eyes tends to be red, right? You have your picture that have red eyes. What you are seeing there is that the light then managed to pass in and reflected this choroid layer. The blood vessels that you see there, they are now protruding that color red that you see on our picture. But on our daily basis, our natural eyes, our natural lights cannot reflect inside, because this pigment, they are absorbing those lights, right? So this is the dark colored layer which contain blood vessels. The function of blood, the pigments, here's the thing, but the pigments absorb the light to prevent the reflection of the light. Here's what is happening. We have the eye. I'll draw another eye here. Imagine if this is what is happening. The light is coming in. When the light comes in, this one hit here, it's going to be reflected, right? I talked about the difference between reflection. It means this light is going to pass here, hit here, something like this will be happening, that you will end up not seeing. So these pigments here, they help to absorb this light out, so that to prevent the reflection of light inside our human eye, right? Another thing, this because they have the blood vessels, these blood vessels, they are going to supply the nutrients and oxygen to the cells of the retina, right? And to the eye, the human structure, the inside structure. As you can see here, we have our blood vessels outside and inside, right? So those are the inside vessels. They are they form the part of a choroid, and then they bring oxygen, they supply the oxygen and the nutrients to the retina, right? Its job is to supply and to absorb, right? If we didn't need oxygen and nutrients in this retina one, this choroid will not be going to be seeing it. We will not be having that layer. I hope you understand that. So from there, let's move to our ciliary body. What is a ciliary body? A ciliary body, this contains a ciliary muscles, right? The ciliary muscles, those are the cilia. Those are the muscles that are like this, right? So these are ciliary body containing a ciliary muscles. So these muscles here, and it is the thickened part of anterior of a choroid. So this choroid here, we talked about this, that this choroid, after moving inside here, it's going to form our ciliary body there. From ciliary body, it's going to protrude and form our iris and form our suspensory ligament up here, right? So this is what is happening. And then these ciliary bodies, they are attached to something called a ciliary ligaments, right? Something like this. Holding what? Holding that center, that lens inside there. So this ciliary body, where it contains ciliary muscles, and it is a thickened part of the anterior of the choroid, right? And then these ciliary muscles, the ciliary muscles contract, right, and relax. When they contract, they are going to like they are becoming like they are, it's like this, they are round. When they contract, it's like they are coming in. You'll see what we're talking about. And when they relax, they understand they are going to loosen up, something like this. So with this happening, is going to affect our movement of our suspensory ligament here, right? When they contract and relax, but to alter the tension of the suspensory ligament, right? Because they are attached to the ligament like this. This one will be the top one, and this one will be the bottom one. Let's say this one, they are relaxing like this, right? And then when they contract, they are going to alter. When they move inside, when they move outside, their ligaments are going to be threatened and they are going to be shortened, right? Then what are those suspensory ligaments? Those suspensory ligaments, we talk about, these are the holding of our lens, right? But these are the ligaments attached to the ciliary body and our lens, right? The suspensory ligament, these are the ligaments attached to the ciliary or ciliary body and our lens, right? But this suspensory ligament, let's move on. These suspensory ligaments, they hold the lens in position, right, during accommodation. We're going to talk about accommodation tomorrow when we are dealing with whatever is happening here, so that the light will be refracted in a certain way, right? Accommodation. And then from there, but the tension of the suspensory ligaments changes to alter the shape of the lens. So this lens here, I told you that it's elastic, right? It can change shape. So when these ligaments that are joining to this lens of ours, imagine when they stretch, right? When they are pulling together, it means that our lens is going to be bigger like this, right? And then when they are relaxing, when they are now relaxed, it means that our lens is going to be like this, right? So here's the thing, this lens of ours, it is changing the shape, right? Sorry, like this, it's just changing the shape. It means when they stretch, it's going to be like this, and then when they relax, it's going to be bulge like this, right? It's a lens, it's a biconvex. It has this side and it also has this side, right? When we pull it aside, this side is going to come in, so it's going to be straight, and this side is going to come in, so it's going to be straight like this, right? And then another thing, when this suspensory ligament relaxes, it means that now it's going to be convex, like it's going to be bulging back. You're going to learn about this tomorrow with this lesson, right? Knowing that suspensory ligaments, these are the ligaments, or these are the ligaments that are holding, right? These are the like cables, or I don't want to use a Bantu name, but in our language we have the name for those, right? For those, what is the ligaments, right? Ligament is a structure, or the muscles, kind of muscles, whatever. You don't have to know it, just know that a suspensory ligaments, these are holding, or these are, what do we call them? Do we say these are the muscles? Do we call them a muscles? The suspensory ligaments are the muscles. Comment on the comment section. Suspensory ligament are, do we say these are the ligaments, right? These are the ligaments, type of muscles. These are the type of muscles. Let's just take it like that. We call them ligaments, right? Then from there we have the iris. We talked about this. What is an iris? What in iris? Iris is the other part now on top of these ligaments and what. But the colored portion of the eye, you'll agree with me that the iris, it is in front of the suspensory ligament and our lens, right? So they close and open, so that they can close and open that pupil. But the iris, these are the colored portion of the eye with an opening and at its center, right? So you'll understand there, this something, it will be something like this, right? So we also have something like this. We'll see that one, it also have the radial, these are the radial muscles, right? We also have the circular muscles that they are also going to be like this, right? So this is an iris. We chopped it in half like that, and we are seeing that part at this side here, right? So this one is the colored portion of the eye, red, brown, whatever, with the opening at its center. So this will be the opening at this center, right? And then this opening is called a pupil. Talked about this, right? This open there is called a pupil. But the iris contains two types of muscles to control the size of the pupil. We talked about them, those muscles, radial muscles and circular muscles, right? And then those muscles, they are controlling the opening of pupil. Why are we opening and closing the pupil? So that the light that is passing in, we can limit it. So it means that if we have small pupil, we are going to limit the light that is passing in. For an example, now because it's during the day, our pupil is going to be small, so that it will prevent more light getting inside our eyes, right? And then during the night, our pupil is going to increase, so that more light will come inside our eye, right? So that is what is happening with iris. We are going to learn about this tomorrow when we do the pupillary mechanism, right? When we learn about what is this, what is happening, what is causing this, what is causing our pupil to be small, what is causing it to be high, and those functions, or those muscles, what are they doing? The radial muscles and the circular muscles, what is it that they are doing, so that this pupil, so that we end up finding this pupil of ours becoming small and becoming big, right? And then they say this one, the function there, this one is there to control the amount of light entering the eye through the pupillary mechanism, right? So it controls the amount of light due to it reducing the size of pupil and increasing the size of pupil. By doing that, it is controlling the amount of light that is entering our eye. You'll agree with me, right? So from there, that part we know, and we go and talk about the part called the retina. We have 3 lines. One, outer layer, sclera. The second line, choroid. The third line, retina. Right? Don't forget, don't mix choroid with cornea. We have cornea. We have, here's the thing. We have cornea, and choroid. Don't mix these two, right? Here's the choroid here. Choroid. Cornea. Right? I'm not sure if this we were going to allow to say this one is a choroid and this one is a cornea. We were going not to make that mistakes. But now, choroid, 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 cornea, cornea, right? But I don't think they will just ask you to name these two, and maybe in one biological word, a layer that houses the blood vessels, it's a choroid, and the open the layer in front of the eye that allows the light to pass or to enter the eye, that will be a cornea, right? So know that and know to differentiate those two. Those 3 layers here: sclera, cornea inside, a choroid inside, and the inner layer will be the retina. Know that, right? Then what the function of this retina? We talked about this. This is the inner layer. That's what they're talking, the 3rd layer. This is the inner layer of the eye, which contains the rods and the cones that are sensitive to light. We say the rods and the cones, these are the light receptors, right? So you can come and say our retina is an inner layer that contains light receptors. Right? So the function of that line there, or the function of that layer, is to do what? Is to recept the light. But here they gave us the function of the cones and the function of the rods, but we have the rods. These rods, they respond to a low intensity light when the light is dark, is dimmed, right? Providing a night vision as well as peripheral vision. Here what I was talking about, the peripheral vision, if this is your eyes here and then you have our point of view here, the last part here is a peripheral vision, the vision outside of your vision, what. So because this part here is controlled, or it is responded by these rods here, there is a saying, or there's something that they say, this part here you see black and white. Let's do this, right? You have a pen in front of you and you have the point of view. You know, now you have the field of view, right? At the end of point, while you're looking at your point, while looking at your pen, right? Sorry, while looking at your pen, you can now concentrate at. You can now try to concentrate at the end of the point, the view field there. Everything at that side is black and white. Everything here, it's black and white. Do it, and comment on the comment section what you see. Here you are looking, maybe like, let's say you're focusing on this pen here, and then while focusing on this pen, I agree you can you can still see this side, right? Although it's blurry, this side will be blurry and this side will be blurry. While you go this side, the last part there, that part, it will be black and white, because it is controlled by the rods. And then in our retina, we will have our focal. It means that this part here, it will be more of rods, right? Since this yellow point here, it is more of cones, right? So whatever that is being here, it's whatever you are seeing that is blurry outside of your viewpoint. And then whatever you are seeing there at the last part there, that is black and white. Do that experiment, right? And then they also said that we have the cones, and then these cones here, they respond to bright light, right? To bright light, the colors, and provide sharp, clear color vision, right? Where you are talking about the color vision, I told you we have red, another one green, and another one blue, right? So those color visions, so those cones, they are bringing us color visions, right? What the function of cones? The cones are the photoreceptors that allows us to see color. Put this in a simplified English, right? Put this in a simplified English that you know or that you understand. And South African English, vele, the one that you also use in bringing in Zulu and bringing in Spedi, bringing in Afrikaans, those African, you understand? What is a cones? These cones are photoreceptors found where? In my retina. And what are they doing? They are converting the color stimuli to the impulse. So these cones, they helped me to see color. You are done. Then when you want to come and cram to bright light and provide sharp clear, you are going to be confused. Don't cram this, just know them. The rods one, they are also photoreceptors, but these, they are more concentrated on black and white, right? And then they are more onto a night vision, right? So from there, also at the retina, we have the neurons that carry impulses from the rods and the cones through the optic nerve to the cerebrum. I told you that if this will be our eye, this will be our retina, so will be the sensory neurons here taking these things out, sensory neurons here taking this thing out, right? You'll understand. And then the nerve here will be our optic nerve, where? To the cerebrum. These neurons, they are also found in a retina. What are the three things that we found in the retina? We have the rods, we have the cones, and we have the neurons, right? Those rods, or we can say we have the receptors and neurons. What are those receptors? Rods and cones. So from there we come to our yellow spot. But our yellow spot here, this is a small indentation. A small indentation. It's a small, sort of like a curve, sort of like a something you picked some. I agree. We have our retina like this, right? This will be our retina, and then we will have something like this, digging, sort of like digging in, right? Having a semi-small indentation, right, at the back of the eyeball, containing the most cones. So this portion here, this small here, it have more cones, right? So it's a smaller circle. This will be our human eye, and this will be our small circle like this, right? Our yellow spot will be like this, and this here will have more cones, right? So area of clearest vision. The function is to bring about the clearest vision of this point here, this yellow spot, right? It's just a spot. The name spot is a spot. It's a spot. It's a spot there, right? So that spot there, you'll see that when we draw our convex like this, we are going to cut it like that, and then we are going to see it like that, right? So that one, that's where they talk about the macula, they talk about the fova. So if you think, since they are not here, we are not going to talk about those, right? But know that we have a yellow spot, and this yellow spot, it have more, or you can say it's an area in a retina containing more cones. That you are done there. What is a yellow spot? It's an area on our retina that have more cones, and the function of that is to bring about the clearest vision. HD now, Imo, when you set this video to HD in your human eye, you also have to set this in your HD. When you set this in your HD, it means that you take all this picture and you are concentrating it here on one spot, so that you have clear things you can read, size of the people. And we also have those who use glasses, right? So tomorrow we are going to learn about those who use glasses, those who can't see these sizes here, right? Another thing will be say, hey, people with glasses, they cannot see. So tomorrow we are going to learn on Friday. That one will be Friday, right? Tomorrow we are going to learn about the accommodation. And let's finish here. We are done with our 1 hour 30 minutes. And then we also have the blind spot. We talked about the blind spot. We still have another one, the blind spot, but this is the small area of the retina back there below the yellow spot, right, containing no rods or cones, and hence no vision. This one will be our spot there, where our optic, you can say this is where our optic nerve enters our retina, or this is where our choroid, those vessels inside the choroid leave our eye, right? So this will be our blind spot, but this is the area where the blood vessels enter the eye. That was what I was talking about. And then this is an area where the optic nerve leaves the eye, right? So this nerve here is taking the what here to the eye. So this optic nerve is going to leave by this black spot, and this black spot, blind spot, we said the blind spot, it's a blind, right? From the spot, spot like this, right? Spot. So blind spot, the word blind means that we are blind. We don't see anything there. This is the area of no vision. What's the function of this? They can ask you, what is the function of this? Function of this is to allow the nerve to exit the eye and also allows the blood vessels to enter the eye, right? And then where the inner parts of the eye are supplied with oxygen and nutrients. By doing this, while this blood is being allowed to enter the blood, this one is going to contribute in the supply of oxygen and nutrients to our eye or to our retina. Then the impulse here, they are going to be transmitted to the cerebrum of the for interpretation, right? So here's the thing: there will be our neurons leaving or leaving our what and our blood entering. So this will be the function of our blind spot, right? So doing this, allowing our blood to enter, we are going to allow the supply of oxygen and nutrients. And while we are allowing our sensory neurons to leave our eye, we are now being able to transmit the impulse to the cerebrum to be interpreted, for you to say, now I'm seeing a dog, now I'm seeing what, right? So from there, and then we are going to talk about the lens. This is the part there that is holded by our suspensory ligament, something like this. And then in front we have our iris like this, right? So this will be our lens here. But the lens, this is an elastic. Elastic, it means that it can shook it can move, it can do like this, it can stretch. You understand? That is an elastic. Different from our sclera. Our sclera is an inelastic. It does not move. This one, it can move, right? Elastic and biconvex, right? Biconvex, I told you that convex is like this, so biconvex, it means like this. Concave this side, convex this side. Convex this side, convex this side, right? So this one is an elastic biconvex structure behind the pupil of the iris, right? Behind this iris here. How you want to talk about this, it will be up to you. But here they are telling us this one is an elastic and it's a biconvex structure behind the pupil of the iris. It is held in place by a suspensory ligament. By this time you know, and this structure here, it is a transparent structure. What is a lens? You can come here. Lens is a transparent structure that is elastic, and then that is held behind the pupil of iris, and also it is a biconvex, right? And then also you can move on and say it is held in place by suspensory ligament. So the function of this lens, you remember I talked about reflection and refraction, right? But this one, the lens, they changes shapes to allow the light to focus on near and distant object. Here's the thing: they change shapes, right? So the lens here, they are changing shapes brought upon by suspensory ligament and ciliary muscles, right? Those changes they brought up the change here. They make it's not like the sense itself, the lens itself, it's changing a shape by itself, right? It is changed, or its shape is changed to allow the eye to focus on a near and a distant object. Like holding your pen in front of your phone, you can see that you can focus here or you can focus on the screen there, right? So this changing of this thing here, we said now we are changing the length there. We are shortening the length, we are increasing the length, so that when you can focus on the pen, you can defocus on the pen and focus on the screen. And from there, you can defocus on the screen and focus on the pen, right? So this sense here, it allows light to pass through, right? These lengths here, they allow light to pass through. Also, they are refracting light, right? They are you know, the lengths here, magnifier, when the light enters here, they are going to be transparent, and then they are going to change the direction of those lights. Then after there, we have these two types of humor, and other one is aqueous or aqueous, whatever you want to name it. You know, there's English, South African language, and British. Aqueous or aqueous. Aqueous, aqua fresh. Aqueous from aqua, water. Aqueous humor, but this is one, it's a watery fluid found in the space between the cornea and the lens, right? We talked about this space here between the cornea and the lens. It will be this space and this space. This will be the aqueous humor, right? Fluid found in the space between the cornea and the lens. You talked about that, right? You understand that. And then the function of this, it's going to maintain the shape of cornea. right? That cornea that has to always to be like this, it is maintained by the watery substance that is there, so that it will always be on that shape, right? But it plays a small role in refraction of the incoming light, right? This water here also plays a role. When you have a glass of water, you have the glass of water, you place it in front of light, that light is going to be bent to a certain direction, right? So we can conclude that also this water here, it also plays a role in bending of this light, so that the light can be concentrated on a different point of a human eye, right? Then the last but not least, we have the vitreous or vitreous humor, right? This one will be the jelly-like structure. This one will be the jelly-like structure found behind the lens. Behind the lens, we have the lens here, and then we have the entire eye, and then this entire eye here, it filled with a vitreous humor, a jelly-like structure, but the function is to maintain the shape of an eyeball, right? And then it plays a small role in refraction of incoming light. Also, because this one, you see, it's transparent, the light, when it enters here, it's also going to be disturbed. It's also going to be disturbed by this vitreous humor, right? So that was it from me, Mr. Mpepu. We have learned the structure of human eye, 1 hour 30 minutes non-stop, talking about the structure of human eye. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with accommodation. You can see here we are bringing an accommodation, but the structure of a human eye YouTube video, what is happening here? Yeah, let's see what is happening here.
Kids Health present.
I'll be there will be now if you want to watch the video, you can watch the video there, right? They're talking about these lengths, aqueous humor, vitreous humor, like these structures, right? So this is what we learned today. Thank you for being here. Let me leave you with an activity, and our activity, we are going to pass these two, pass all of it, and we are going to find our activity down here, right? Page 177, right? This will be our homework. Siyawatshela homework. And then 22 04, you can do this during your school hours, during the studies, while you are learning your human eye, right? Anytime that you can get, screenshot this or take the textbook, whatever, write the questions down, draw this human eye. While you are drawing this human eye, it's going also to help you to understand that I'll have to draw one layer, second layer, and the third layer. While you are drawing them, you'll be able to sclera, choroid, and retina, right? You are also going to draw this what we call here our yellow point, right, or our yellow spot. You're also going to label here, or you can draw the entire structure up there, or you can draw this and label it, and you are going to label, write down the question, and you'll answer them tomorrow, right? So this will be the question: identify part C, D, E, explain how the part B is adapted to perform its function, provide 2 marks here. Part B, where is part B? You see part B, yes, part B, it's cornea, where now you will tell how this is adapted, right, from white to transparent, right? But provide the function of E and F. Where is E and F? You see E, the inner layer, and the F there, it will be our object before our iris. And then by number 4, write down the letter only of the part that is able to change the shape of to refract light. Sorry, this one is the part that is able to change shape to refract light, right? We are not reflecting light, we are refracting. So name the part of that. And then number B, provide the structural support to the eyeball. So you are going to go and see where is it. They said name the letter. Write down the letter only for the part that provides structural support to the eyeball. So you see here, we don't have that one. It means that we are going to use the other one, right? You need the other one. It's going to provide the support for the eye, so that the eye stay that side, right? Number 5, we are going to mark this tomorrow. We are going to do this tomorrow. Name and describe the process which involves the iris controlling the amount of light entering the eye when a person is exposed to bright eye. Leave this one. This one will answer it tomorrow after dealing with accommodation and what, because here they want you to name and describe the process which involves the iris controlling the amount. You can answer it, right? You can answer this. Maybe you don't know the process, but you can describe it, what is happening for our iris to come in an eye. Don't answer this. We'll answer this after tomorrow's lesson, right? When we are done with accommodation and pupillary mechanism. So up until here, this will be our tomorrow's introduction, and then we'll be moving on. With that being said, guys, thank you. See you tomorrow. Peace.